And we are live. What is going on? And happy Turtle Tuesdays, everyone.
Happy Turtle Tuesday again. The first
Again.
Turtle Tuesday after San Diego Comic Con.
Yes, after San Diego Comic Con. And this week in our news, we got a lot. A more majority of our news is actually uh, Comic Con. There's only one thing that's not Comic Con related. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. In fact, we have so much to talk about that this episode is actually not going to be on our audio podcast. We're actually keeping this one just YouTube, just because uh, we know this is just going to bloat up our already long episode discussion, and we have like several listeners who come just for the episode discussion, not for the news.
Gotcha. So they don't want to hear all this boring stuff.
Yeah, I know for some.
Let's not listen to Mike and Jason read off a list of things.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is for you guys, for all you guys who like ask for like time codes in our podcast, so you can skip over like Mike's section.
It's fine. I skip over my podcast too. Don't worry.
It's all right. I skip over my whole entire podcast. Like, if I can, like, I'm still trying to find a way just to get the podcast where it's just only Mike and Anna. And, like, I mean, that would be the ultimate podcast where there is no Jason in the Turtle Recall podcast. uh,
No, I gotta have you.
I guess so. I guess I gotta be there somewhere. Uh, but just to uh, just to let you guys know, currently, because this week we are releasing our 100th podcast. It is for real this time. We're COVID is finally out of the Ascari household, but we are running a contest to get the Hunchback, Leonardo, and the Kicking It Old School coloring book, the Ninja Turtle coloring book. Mike, have you actually got this coloring book?
I have not. I My wife has a couple of coloring books for adults, and I saw this one and I was like, you know what? I might want to get in on that. That's pretty good.
This one is awesome. I mean, I absolutely love it. So it has like the cartoon stuff. It also has the Mirage like comic panels in there. So if you want to like color in those like classic Kevin Eastman and Layard like panels and like actually give them color, your own color, you have that chance. It's actually a really cool coloring book, and I want to say there's 2012 in there as well. I have to look at the book again. It's been a while since I look at it, because I mean, obviously I have a copy for myself as well.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I remember I downloaded a couple. I remember I downloaded a couple pages
uh-huh.
for. I think Nick had put out some Rise pages.
Right. This one was made
So
before Rise, but these are like, there's some of those like where you have like, oh, there's a bunch of turtles, but then like you just have like some like just really big just comic like panels, especially the Mirage stuff. The
hmm,
Mirage stuff is all like, oh, hey, it's like this image from this issue. So it's actually pretty cool.
gotcha. I definitely got to pick that up then.
Yeah. To enter the contest, you just have to respond to the tweet that I put out, and just let us know what your favorite episode is. There's no wrong answer, and it doesn't matter if it's 1987, 2003, Rise, 2012. I just want to know what your favorite episode is. That's all. You don't have to. You
Well,
don't have to.
I thought it had to be 87. Oh, I totally could have changed my answer.
you're totally you're totally allowed to change your answer. No, like I had like yeah, I have several people put in the 2012 episodes. No, there's no restrictions. I didn't, nowhere in there I said it has to be 87 episodes.
All right. So, yeah, you heard him. All you got to do is reply to Jason's tweet on the Turtle Recall page with your favorite episode of any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even the next mutation.
Even the next mutation. You know what? If someone responds with next mutation, I will applaud you. I will applaud you and watch that episode, just because you suggested it.
There you go.
All right. And then, you want to tell people what's going on in your podcast that you guys released today?
So today we dropped the first episode of our kind of sub series. We're going to be talking about the new arc in IDW called the Armageddon Game. So this is the first huge arc that kind of Crisis on Infinite Earths type deal for Ninja Turtles. Maybe not that one because there's no multiverse stuff yet
Right.
that we know of. But we wanted to do a primer on primer for people who may not have been keeping up with IDW, so they don't really know who like the Pantheon is or things like that. So we are going to be in this episode. We cover kind of the lead up material that you need to know from IDW. We covered all who the Pantheon is. We read the 2020, the 2021 annuals, the Free Comic Book Day issue that ties into this, and also opening moves. So, yep, that dropped today.
Yeah. So be sure to check that out. And I actually need to listen to that because I know about the Pantheon and that kind of stuff, but I think I read it like 4 years ago or something like that. Whenever that came out, and I can't remember anything about them. I just remember there's Big Toad. I just remember this Big Toad.
That would be Toad Baron, brother to Rat King.
I didn't even know he was his brother. See, that's why I need to listen to you guys' podcast before I read Armageddon.
Yeah, so that's what exactly. So that's what we were saying. We wanted to make sure that people can go into Armageddon Game and kind of know who everybody is, and also like we'll just kind of be providing info. Like we found a fun Easter egg. Probably our most fun Easter egg was that we found a planet. Like kind of a deep cut planet that they put in there. So
I saw that. I didn't even see I didn't even notice the reference, mainly because I don't the 2003 series I didn't watch as often as it did as the 1987 series, especially the last two seasons, Back to the Sewers and Fast Forward. So I totally did not catch that one.
So there you go.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with our news. The first thing we're actually going to be talking about is not Comic-Con. Unfortunately, it's a little sad kind of thing, and unfortunately, 2 days ago, actor David Warner passed away. And if you guys, the way he's related to Ninja Turtles, he was Professor Perry in Ninja Turtles Secret Ooze. And if you guys don't know, originally this character was supposed to be an Utrom, and the only reason they decided not to make him an Utrom was because they were so afraid that the kids were going to think that he's Krang. So they ended up and then also cost as well. Like it cost a lot of money, especially in 1991, to make those kind of effects.
Yeah, because us kids back then, we were very stupid. So
yes.
But yeah, David Warner, just an immense talent. I mean, he's been in this is what he's known for in the Ninja Turtles community. But like, if you were a fan of Batman the Animated Series, he was Ra's al Ghul.
Yes.
He was Sark in Tron.
Yes. Yes. If you listen to our Kingdom Hearts podcast, my co-host there, Scott, is a huge Tron fan. So this one hit him hard for him over there.
Yeah, so just an immense talent, and unfortunately passed away. I think it was cancer. I heard.
Yeah, I believe it was. I meant to look it up before. I meant to look up what the cause of death was before. But he did live a full life. He was 85 days shy of his 81st birthday. That's the
Ooh, that's always the worst.
Yeah, that's always the worst. But he lived a full life, and he's forever going to be remembered in the multiple media he was in. Batman fans have Ra's al Ghul. Us Ninja Turtle fans have Jordan Perry. Like Mike said, Sark. I'm already like blanking on like the really big movie he won.
I mean, he was. I can't remember the character's name, but he was in Titanic.
Yeah, he was in Titanic. I remember that.
he's just been in so many things.
Right, right. He's been in a lot of things. Definitely going to be remembered. Is yeah, it's just a unfortunate thing, but um, but yeah, he'll definitely be remembered on. So, I mean, that's really all we have to talk about that. But so the rest of this podcast, we are going to be talking about San Diego Comic Con 2022. It ended a few days ago, and there was a lot for Ninja Turtle wise stuff. So
Yeah, quite the reveals for the first Comic Con in you know since 2019.
right, exactly. Yes. This was the first in person Comic Con since 2019. I know there was like some debate to go with it only because of uh, only because of the rise of like the new COVID variant. But the show still went on, and I you know it apparently had a really good turnout as well, which is good to hear. So
I think it's always a pretty good turnout at Comic Con. I think there's
right,
a lot of pent up demand to kind
yeah,
of get this one back.
right, exactly. No, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, this one was like, I mean, because people were kind of like, oh no, like there was like there's we have a lot of people who are trying to return to normalcy, and then there's people on the other side of that, but it's always good to have like things to go back. I mean, personally, I think it was good to have the show back. And I know they took some precautions. I knew that there was like they added some late minute more health things just because of the rise of the new variant. I don't know if monkeypox came into to this or not, but yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I do want to talk about here is the Eisner Awards, because so Kevin Eastman got inducted to the Eisner Hall of Fame this year, and uh, and then Stan Sakai and his uh, wife Julie Sakai, they won for best publication for early readers up to age 8 for their graphic novel Chibi Usagi: Attack of the Heebie-Chibis.
I love that title.
Yes, no, it's
I
a
love it so much.
it is an excellent title. So, uh, obviously for Kevin to be inducted, that was something we need going in. But we knew that Stan and Julie got nominated, but it was really happy to know that that they won for their thing, and it's just really cool that the fact that all three of these got like Eisner Awards during the convention.
Yeah, and like I mean, you can see them on screen right there. Like, look how happy they are.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's. I mean, this is a huge thing for Kevin too. Like,
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
know, he's done so much for this franchise, and you know, the Turtles are such. They're still such a pop culture icon. That like,
Right.
good for him.
Right.
It,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
I gotta imagine that if like Peter was still in the community in some way, shape, or form, like he might have been inducted as well.
I would
Because I
think
mean,
so
all
too.
like Peter did keep the franchise alive, as best he could
Right.
during that dark time.
Yes. Yeah. In the early 2000s, before Nickelodeon bought it from him, he was doing his best to keep it there, and obviously he was never able to give it that boom that Nickelodeon gave it. Like, uh, but I I agree with you. If he just kind of if he still kind of stayed with it instead of he almost pretty much washed his hands uh, with the um, with the franchise. But uh, I think if he was still like as active as he was back in the early 2000s, I think he would be inducted as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations to them. I will say like I've only met Stan Sakai once, and I wish I could like go back in time and like redo that meeting because I have a picture of him and but in that convention I decided to dress up as Yu-Gi-Oh, and so I have this picture of me with Stan Sakai and I have like this
Oh
big
no.
red hair and like the Egyptian outfit and everything. I can't
Oh, why isn't that on screen right now?
because this is analog photo, baby. Like like this digital photo wasn't a thing back then. This is how old
Oh
I
man.
was. This is how old I was.
So I've met Stan pretty much every Comic Con that I've gone to.
Oh, nice.
He it's always like a thing I have to always make sure that I hit whenever I go to Comic Con, because like have to I have to say hi to Stan,
Uh huh.
you know, and I bought my first two volumes of Usagi Yojimbo from him, and I think they're some of the older Dark Horse prints,
Okay.
but also like I have my like Usagi, like little Stan's signatures, like this little like cute drawing
Right.
of Usagi.
Right. Right.
It's like it's a circle with ears.
Right.
Um, and he put that on a pin, and I was like, I have to have this. And he makes a new one every year with like a different color background. So I have the red background. Um, and yeah, like just the absolute nicest man.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Um,
Oh, definitely.
like deserves everything that he gets.
Yeah.
Um, and then Kevin, I've met Kevin a couple times. First time was at Comic Con for the 25th anniversary of Turtles.
Uh huh.
Um, he wasn't a part of the franchise anymore, but he got to publish his own book through Heavy Metal,
Gotcha.
where like he got to reprint some stories that he really liked from the 25th or from Mirage,
Right.
which was really cool. And then he did a sketch for me in the book, and I was like, perfect. So I have
Nice.
it's like a 1 of 500 book, with a personalized sketch from Kevin in it. So
Yeah, so I will say the first time I met Kevin was actually at Dragon Con, and this was my very first Ninja Turtle panel I did. And like he came to the con like late. He like they got him like 3 weeks before the convention started, and
mhm.
like one of his requirements was like, oh, he needs a panel, and so like the panel director came up to me and they're like, oh hey, I hate to do this to you, but Kevin Eastman demands he has to have a panel to be in this convention, and you're the only person with a Ninja Turtle convention with a Ninja Turtle panel, so uh, you're gonna have to share the stage with Kevin Eastman. And I was like, that was a punishment? I'm like, no, this is amazing. And so like, yeah,
You're like, good, because I had nothing planned.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, the thing was like I had like this like description on the thing on the programming books, like, oh, we're gonna go through the history, we're gonna talk about like how we started from a comic and everything, and then like and basically I had to like tell people like, yeah, everything you read in that's not true anymore. Like this like the program is a lie. This is just an interview with Kevin Eastman because you don't want to hear me talk
We had
about
a
turtles.
we had
You
a
want to hear me.
last minute program change.
Right, right, exactly, yeah. So I mean, that was like such an honor, and then of course, like we've met him like several times since, and like he's been on the podcast before, and he's gonna be on the podcast again, guys. He will be.
uh, we
uh,
gotta get yeah. I gotta get that contact, because
oh,
love to
okay.
have him on our show.
I'm gonna make this happen. Don't worry. You're gonna get him
All
on
right.
your show.
You guys heard it here in on the live show.
On the
So
live show. You heard it on the one that we're not releasing officially on our audio podcast, but
oh great.
all right. So The next things we're gonna talk about is actually gonna be all like the IDW and kind of slash boom as well, and I'm gonna actually let Mike take the lead of this because Mike knows much more of the comics than I do. So go ahead and take it away, Mike, if you want to start talking about the Power Rangers teaming up with Ninja Turtles, because this is my jam.
So, announced at Comic Con is going to be a sequel book to the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles crossover. Uh, it kind of, I don't want to say it ended on a cliffhanger, but it definitely ended on more story potential.
Right.
So, due to just how massively popular it was, and I gotta think that the toys are doing phenomenally well too, because like I have not seen them stay on shelves at all. The So IDW and Boom are crossing over again. So art by Dan Mora and Ryan. I can't ever say his last name correctly.
Parrot.
Parrot. See, I always want to say like Perot or something.
No, you pronounce
but
it.
So those two guys are collaborating again to make this book. So I don't think this art on screen right here is from the book. This is just what came out on the press release.
Right. I'm going to be honest. I'm hoping this is not the art that's going to be on the book, only because I see a Green Ranger, and I'm really hoping that we're going to go into White Ranger like territory this time. I'm not saying like I'm not saying like when Jason, Zach, and Trini are replaced, because there's still a White Ranger period where they were still the Rangers. Like I kind of want in that period, only because everyone's been saying like, oh, they should make a Casey Jones White Ranger thing, and I want a Casey Jones White Ranger to be canon.
I don't hate the idea. So I just, now that they're doing a sequel, like absolutely, like that could be, absolutely a thing that they do. Like when the figures were first announced, like a lot of people still hadn't read the book. And so like a lot of people were like, why isn't Casey there? And it's like, well, he wasn't really in the book.
No, he wasn't.
Probably he could be, or like, oh, he could be the White Ranger. And it's like, well, the White Ranger's not in the book.
Right, yeah, the White Ranger wasn't in the book. He was the Green Ranger. That's why Shredder was Green Ranger. Because if you know your Power Rangers,
I literally had a guy yesterday who was like, "Why is Shredder the Green Ranger?" It was like, why would Shredder have anything to do with the Power Rangers? And I was like, well, here's the book that you should read that answers that question.
That's right. Yeah. So I am so wondering what issue like we'll have like the next, like, because to me, like, when they revealed Green Ranger Shredder, the first thing I said was like, okay, this needs to be made to an action figure. I'm just wondering what the next like toyetic like reveal will be on this sequel comic.
Which is fantastic too, because it's like, so far it's one of my favorite action figures all year.
Yes. Oh, I like that one too, and I still need to do my review for the figure, because I do have some negative points that I need to say. My like the knees, that I have a big problem with his knees.
No, I can see that. Like it's not perfect.
No, it's not perfect.
But it is.
It is.
But it is definitely one of the better figures.
Yes.
One of my favorite this year. So.
Oh! This is definitely. I still think this it's still like my number one figure this year. I can't think of any figure that's gonna like top it. To be honest, maybe if even though I got Aqua this year, but Aqua came out last year, so I can't like put her in my top for 2022. But yeah. But yeah, this I love the Green Ranger Shredder figure. Now I will say, because when the Turtle Rangers were announced, and I got the press release from Hasbro and everything, they were hinting because the big thing they told us in the press release, like, oh, make sure people know that we have a stream for a live stream on on the end of the week after all the reveals, and we're gonna announce something really big. And I was like, oh, something really big is gonna be out. And they kept alluding to this. They kept alluding to the second like Ninja Turtle comic with the Power Rangers, and then I was actually like, after the stream, I was like, wait, what was the big thing you guys were supposed to announce? Was it really that poster? Like, so I have a feeling what happened was that they had this plan, but uh, they just they couldn't actually uh, pull it through, and so they had to delay this.
Hmm. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So that's really all I got for this. I'm super excited. Like, you know, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. I mean, obviously I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. But you know, I think this year is the only year I'm not going to Morphicon, and that's like that is because Anna is like pregnant, and unlike the last time she was pregnant, I went uh like I haven't bought my actual tickets yet, so now I decided not to do it. So, and then there was like a bigger Ninja Turtle reveal. If you want to start talking about that.
Yep. So the IDW panel was on Saturday at 10 a.m. and revealed there was the next chapter in what they're calling the Ronin verse. So if you're a big fan of The Last Ronin, we are getting a new story in that universe called The Lost Years, a Last Ronin story, or The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. So there's going to be a new miniseries dropping later this year in November that's going to be written by Kevin and Tom Waltz with art by Ben Bishop and S.L. Gallant. And so we posted the covers on our Facebook and Twitter. And I can't wait. It looks really good. It looks like it's going to be taking place during the time, if you've read The Last Ronin, where Mikey is, you know, training in the mountains by himself. So definitely looks really cool. What was funny is that I had these live and ready to go, and I couldn't post them before 10 o'clock on Saturday. So I posted them right at 10 o'clock on Saturday, and it was just funny because they hadn't announced it yet.
Oh man!
At the panel. So if you were following Ninja Turtles news and you were at the panel, I'm sorry that I spoiled the panel for you. But it was kind of funny.
Yeah. You know, you have a responsibility there, man. You should. It's all right. Things like
they told me 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh no, I understand. You know, I know I have like done like only reason I haven't done it as often is because I'm so bad about like getting things like ready for that kind of stuff. But like I know I've like let some things like slip before too. I'm like, oh what? Oh no, you guys didn't know that. Hold on, delete tweet. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that. And obviously, I know a lot of people are excited about the Last Ronin, the Lost Years. People who've been wanting more Last Ronin stories. This is, you know, right up their alley. Last Ronin was like a huge hit, so it was not a surprise to me. Like, you know, especially like the way, especially like it has an epilogue. The way that they have the epilogue, it was like, okay, we're opening in this one up for more. Yeah, and like, you know,
and it definitely like has earned it. It's just shy. It's less than 200,000 copies away from 1 million copies sold.
Oh wow!
Across all 5 issues.
Yeah, and of course.
So like insane numbers.
Yeah, like I know this was like a huge hit for like you know, Ninja Turtles and everything. So like, and I mean, I have like friends who like, you know, didn't really like keep up with anything with Ninja Turtles, but they heard about this comic. They're like, oh, I gotta check this out. And so you know, and now that the graphic novel has came out, like I know a bunch of them has at least ordered it. I don't know if they've actually read it yet or not, but you know,
Yeah.
some people aren't as excited I was. I'm just so curious if like these last year's comics are gonna actually like stick to their release date, or is it gonna be like the last Ronin where it was like, oh yeah, the next one's coming in like 2 months, and then like you gotta wait like 4 or 5 months later. Okay. So uh,
There you go. Sorry. I don't
it's
know
all
why I thought I lost you there for a second.
right. Yeah. I was about to say. I think I was like, oh, I think. Uh, I mean, hopefully, it's, unfortunately, on our end for our internet, we should be good right now. But tomorrow they're going to be doing some work on it. So tomorrow our internet's going to be on and off. So if you don't hear from Turtle Recall for a while, it's because our internet company is working on our internet starting tomorrow, which isn't going to be fun. Did I lose you again, Mike?
Nope, I'm still here.
Okay.
I was letting you finish all that story.
All right. So let's get into some action figure news before we get into what everyone wants to talk about. Let's talk about that other company that people are kind of like iffy about buying, and that's the Loyal Subjects. Because at Comic Con, they did reveal. They've really revealed like several figures that we've seen and they've released, and like or they're Comic Con exclusives where it's just repaints. But they did reveal these, which are new, are the street style Ninja Turtle figures, where it's the four turtles in their street outfits that they wore in like 2 episodes. One of them was in the second season, the other one was in the Usagi episode.
Now, see, I think these look cool as heck.
These do look cool, and I will probably buy all four of these.
Like, they're definitely beating NECA to the punch on this.
Yes.
And I'm all for it.
I'm all for it too. I mean, because like, yes, as you're right, they are beating NECA to the punch. Like, NECA's like working on so many things. They haven't actually gone onto these like disguises, and like I know for everyone, like when people say like the turtles in disguise, even though the weird white alien head is the more recognizable disguise, people want these disguises that like somehow they finally more remember, and I think it's more of a gift thing, because I know these have shown up as gifts.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like when you think of the turtles costumes, like you see that gif of like them dancing,
Right.
and like even then, like my profile picture on Twitter is that disguise,
Right.
And it's I wouldn't say it's more iconic, but it is almost as iconic as the trench coat for the turtles.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. And of course, like when Mega Bloks like released it for Mikey, I had to buy it immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, they never made a toy of this. And then like so I bought it for Mikey, and then like for the longest time, I didn't know that Leo had one. Just because I forgot that they had it again in the Usagi episode. I was like, but then I was like, oh yeah, Leo does have one of these street style designs as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he was never in the street clothes at the beginning.
No, at the beginning he wasn't.
But yeah, because the turtles have like so many iconic disguises too.
Right.
Like there's this one. There's like these are, and even then like these aren't really the puffy jackets that they wore. These are more like kind of like varsity leather jackets.
Yeah.
But then you have like the longshoreman costumes. You have the weird camping costume.
Yeah. And of course, we can never forget their sailor costumes.
Or the sailor costumes.
That's right. Now, there is a weird caveat with these, because Loyal Subjects can't give us like great news, because in the back of them they did reveal that there are chase variants, I should say, to go with this. Yes, exactly, yeah. And like the final one, which is like prototype version, there's only 100 of them, and it's like they expect you to like hunt these down in the stores. This is like really reminiscent to me of the Toy Biz, like when they did Marvel Legends, and they would have like, oh, here's these variants, and the only variant I ever found in the wild was actually like the Cyclops like X Factor one. And I remember I saw it in the store and I was like ready to buy it, but then I was like, no, I don't want this figure. I don't want this version of the figure. But it was just like the fact like I found it in the store. I didn't have to go to eBay to find it.
God, just 100 for a Chase figure, like
Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah. And the other two are just like 1 and 4, and they're just like just different paint variants, and like the 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 third one from the back is like it's actually like more like school like varsity jacket kind of thing. They took like their color and then they put like more of a white jacket kind of thing. But yeah, that last one. I mean, I'm not even gonna like attempt to even try to find that one. That's
Yeah, that's just insane.
right. That is like 100% insane. I'm curious what it looks like. I mean, I will probably, to be honest, I'll probably go on eBay I just want to see what it actually looks like. Is it like no color or what? I just like, but yeah, like 1 out of 100. Whew. I mean, but at the same
Because
time,
there's no telling either, like how many of these are made.
right.
So it's like, yeah, that's just those are numbers I don't even want to think about.
Right. These are definitely numbers I don't want to think about. Like, personally, I only want to go with the colors that were in the show. I don't need the 1 in 4 chance or like the like whatever. Those look nice. If I see them, I don't know. I'll probably take a picture and just be like, oh hey, I found it. But
Yeah,
that's as far as I go. And like while we're looking at the back of the picture, I do like the fact that at the back it says incredible sculpt details. Like I like when like companies have to like pat themselves on the back. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
for the
I mean,
and which is even funnier because like the first ones were basically the figure arts figures.
right,
Um,
exactly.
but I don't know. A lot of people dunk on these, but they're like these are also like $15-20 figures. So like
Right. Yeah,
which is funny to me to say that like I'm excusing that because they're only so cheap, but it's like it was only a couple of years ago that like Marvel Legends were that cheap. So
right, exactly. I mean, to me,
it's what a sign of the times.
right. To me, these are the figures that Playmates should have been making while like they had no show to advertise for. Like but
Oh, 100%, 100%.
yeah. Like I mean, I still say this. Playmates like really dropped the ball, and like and that's the reason why like NECA has this runaway hit because Playmates allowed it to happen. Like but yeah, but speaking of NECA, let's go into NECA because NECA has showed us a lot, like a ton. So first, we're gonna go into the comic book line because they have in this convention they have like really shown that they are reviving the comic line, and the first thing I want to show here. And oh hey, Robert has joined us. What's going on, Robert? It's all right. We're gonna be here for a good while, so it's all right. You joined in right at the good stuff. Um, but yeah, uh, so with NECA, the first thing I want to look at is the Shiva shredder and the mini shredder. Like to so that way we can complete our shredder clone collection that we got from the loot crate not too long ago.
Which, if you hadn't already sold your claw shredder, because a lot of guys were unloading unloading those.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of obvious NECA was always going to do the other two clones.
Oh, I had no doubts that they were going to do the other two clones. I mean, I was not surprised about this. So, like, I knew it was coming, and these two are going to be sold together, thankfully, because, like, I mean, I know with, like Mini Shredder's always, like, one of those is, like, okay, do we put him in his own release, or, like, I can see this be like a 40 to 45 figure, to be honest. Like much like just because one his size and the fact that he does come with another figure as well.
I'm also kind of looking at him. He like is very small and doesn't look like he's articulated.
He,
Like beyond
you're right.
beyond having like swivel shoulders, like
I
he
think
doesn't really have any articulation.
right. I think he's going to be just as articulated as the Baby Shredder from the Krang release.
Oh, see, yeah. So
Yeah. Now,
barely, if anything.
yeah. Now, I will say this. Apparently, because this picture came from the previous night. Apparently, like the rest of the weekend, like when the show was open to the public, on top of uh, uh, Renette's box, apparently was a blue helmet on there to give
Yes.
a hint. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I saw the picture, but I couldn't find the actual source for the picture. That's the only reason I didn't include it on here because I like to do whenever there's like pictures. I try not to take someone else's picture
Yeah.
without like credit to them. So
No, I did the same thing. Like my friend was there at preview night, and he had
yeah,
sent me like a bunch of pictures of the booth, and I was like, "Can I post your photography page?" Because he's a cosplay photographer,
right,
and he's like, "No, you don't have to." But I was like, "You know what? No, like you deserve it, man. Like you're a
right,
photographer. Like I'm
right,
not gonna post your pictures without
right, right.
giving you credit." So
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's the only reason I didn't put that picture up there just because I couldn't find like someone who actually originally posted that picture. I found other people listed
yeah,
for that person, but not giving that person credit. But yeah, so uh, I mean, to be honest, the blue helmet thing was not a surprise to me. I'm really excited about it because that does give us a hint of that the fact is, you know, NECA heard us. They want a blue Renette. I still think it was
I think they confirmed too, like kind of all but confirmed that they were going to be doing a blue version. I can't remember whose interview it was with them. I don't think it was Pixel Dan's.
I think it was Speaky
Um,
Geeky actually, because I
it
think
might have been Speaky Geeky.
yeah,
But yeah, it's like somebody had asked them at the show, and they said, "Oh yeah, like Blue Renette is coming."
oh
So
okay, oh, someone at the show. Then I'm not too
yeah,
sure.
not yeah. So it wasn't Speaky
Yeah,
Geeky's
no,
interview with Trevor. It
right.
was it was somebody at the show
It's
that
someone
said
at
it.
the show. Okay, so that one. Okay, I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah. So yeah, like it obviously they haven't like fully announced it, but it is hinted. So and I'm not surprised. Just because you know everyone wants it in blue variant. I'm surprised they did red before blue. I don't know why. And I keep mentioning this to people because NECA also makes the uh, the HeroClix figures, and in both Renette figures from like the 2012 I'm sorry, the 2011 IDW comic and the Mirage IDW comic, the Mirage comic, they were both blue for those. So if they were able to make it for HeroClix, I don't know why they didn't make it for themselves, but
Yeah,
you know, but I'm excited for those, and then we got some more Mirage stuff because uh, we got cute little short Mirage Splinter over here, which I'm totally I'm all for this
I
Splinter.
I don't remember him being this short in the book,
Oh,
and we've just finished reading like the first three volumes of Mirage,
uh-huh.
and the artists aren't really super consistent, so
No,
like
no,
his size is kind of all over the place. Um,
his size is
but
honestly all over the place.
I don't remember him being this tiny.
So there is a I know there's an issue because TMNT nerds like pointed this out to us because of how much Anna hates Splinter. But there's one where he's like sitting on the table and like he is like like he looks like a toddler, like how small he
Yeah,
is. Yeah. But you're right. It's very inconsistent. But like this one they did like like I will say like what NECA likes to do is like when they see like, oh hey, at one point this character was really short. They're like, we're gonna go with that height. Because like NECA is not really good at like judging size. I mean, uh, look at Danny. Danny is like, even though he was like 14, they made him the size of a 10-year-old. Like,
Well, I mean that the problem there was because they used the John Connor
right,
from Terminator 2 body, and
right,
it's like that one. That's a 10-year-old body you're using for a 14, 15-year-old.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. So,
So, but yeah, no, you're right because they also did the same thing with like the turtle van. It's like they picked the weirdest art for the turtle van.
right, they did. They
You
picked the,
know
like the
where it's
boxiest
where
art.
it's the most weird. Yeah, when it's like the turtle van's not that boxy in the majority of the show.
Right, exactly.
So, but yeah, like NECA has a weird thing they do when they're trying to source their references.
Yeah,
So, um, but as we're building up to the big reveal, um, this is kind of par for course for the type of artists that they're basing this line on, or at least
right.
this wave of figures on.
Yes, 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 yes. No, no, I definitely agree with you there. A few things I do want to address about Splinter is like he does come it's because of his size. He comes with accessories including a mouser. So if you missed the mousers from April or the mouser San Diego Comic Con pack, you have a chance to get at least one mouser. Mouser if you want to buy more splinters to build your own mouser army. But if you remember last time when we talked about the Utroms, my complaint was we only had one style Utrom, and they like NECA obviously heard me and like quickly made this and be like, here you go, Jason. Here's a second Utrom for you to start army
Yep.
building your Utroms.
Randy heard your complaint
He did.
and has now placated you, hopefully, with your new style of Utrom.
That's right. Yes, yes.
So, like,
So,
when I originally saw this picture, I guess like my brain didn't register that was a turtle.
oh,
Um, and so like I thought that was like a piece of the Utrom.
oh.
Like you could swap out the tentacles for some reason.
With these like green tentacles and like like I guess another head or something like a
Yeah,
cap.
like I said, like my brain just didn't register that was a turtle for some reason.
I will say because this is like I was like sick when all these like reveals were happening. Most of the stuff
Yeah.
I was like I didn't even I was like I don't think my eyes was working correctly. I'm like I don't even know what this is, and like I didn't even attempt to post on like what I thought it was going to be because every time I post something wrong, everyone like when I really thought like when they revealed the Mirage KC's like bat and everything because of the lines and the cell shading they did, I was like, oh my gosh, I think they're really making the 2003 Casey Jones, and everyone's like, no, this is the comic book, you stupid. And I was like, nope, you're right. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun for something I'm more excited for. I apologize. Oh, but let's
Now
continue.
and now it's going to be another 20 years before they do a 2003 line.
I
Way to
know.
go,
I know. Way to
Jason.
go. Way to go, Jason. I ruined it. It could have been next year for
It is
20th
your
anniversary.
fault.
My fault.
Exactly.
My fault. I ruined it. But Mike was alluding to the artists, and so let's go into probably like the biggest thing that the for the Mirage line, and that is that uh we are getting the Jim Lawson style turtles. That basically the turtles that what they look like in from my favorite three-part comic story, which is Return to New York.
Yeah, so we got the first look at the new turtles for the Mirage line, um, and I thought it was funny because like I picked up that it was based on Jim Lawson like right away,
Uh huh.
and there was a lot of debate going on for a couple hours. Like a lot of people were like, "No, it's Kevin Eastman." I was like, "No, like this is Lawson." Like this is early Lawson too, like before he like started drawing them with like really big beaks.
Right. Right.
Um, it just like Jim Lawson has a very like Jim Lawson's like probably like the third biggest person in Mirage Turtles, I would
Yes,
say.
yes, yes.
Like
He's definitely
it's
a third person.
Kevin, Peter, and then Jim.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. I have two arts from Jim. Jim is like an excellent person, and he was kind of surprised that I went to the convention that we went to. Just like he was my major draw to go to that convention. He was like, "Don't tell me
Mm,
you went to this convention just for me." I was like, "I'm sorry, but like, I mean, I know
yeah.
the turtle voice actors are here, but I was more excited to meet you than anything." And like, and we went back a second day just to get like one of his other posters because like my Anna was like, "Oh, hey, we should get that Roxanne Bebop poster that he drew," and I was like, "You're right." So I drove right back to the convention the next day just to get that poster from him.
See, I got to meet Jim next. I've met Michael Dooney, who was my favorite Turtles
Oh,
artist,
nice.
um, and I have a couple prints from him. But yeah, Dooney or Lawson's the next one I really want to meet.
Right. Now, I will be honest, if I was part of the debate, I wouldn't have actually been able to answer anything in the debate. The only thing I could be able to answer to you guys was these are the exact turtles from Return to New York, and not only we have the turtles from Return to New York, we also have Zog. He's in the background over there, and I love the
Yeah,
fact.
how can you miss him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. How can you miss Zog? Exactly. And the fact is, like, we also have an alternate head for Raph to have like that little like whatever that hoodie thing he had.
That little cloak, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm really excited for these. One of my friends who stopped collecting Ninja Turtle figures said he's going to start collecting Ninja Turtle figures again to get these turtle figures. These are amazing. All right. So, what do you think? Do you think these are going to be sold individually or as a four-pack set?
Oh, I think I think both probably.
You think both?
I think NECA will probably do a black and white set like they did
Yeah,
with the original figures
I can see them doing a
as
black
a
and white
four
set.
pack, and then I think these will be sold individually.
So, only reason I'm thinking these are going to be sold individually is because these aren't going to be in like in these aren't going to go into Target or Walmart. These are going to be go into hobby and comic specialty stores because that's like where the comic book stuff usually go at. Just because they don't sell as well as the comic or movies or the cartoon movie stuff. So I think these are going to be individual, and they're going to make sure that the art on the box is going to be so unique from each other, so consumers can tell that, oh, this is Leonardo, this is Raphael, this is Donatello, so they don't have to be like, uh, oh, like we don't like like, oh, I think I have this one before. Um, but and as Mike said, I do think like going that I think like we'll probably get a black and white like four-pack set, but like I think because of like I don't think we're gonna get a four-pack set because those are harder for those individual shops to push out.
Yeah, like, but yeah. So these turtles, my major concern with them
Yeah.
is articulation. These are very blocky turtles,
Uh huh.
which they match the art. They match the way that Jim Lawson was drawing them in this storyline.
Hmm.
So and just knowing NECA
Right.
and their range of articulation, I'm just really worried about how these are going to move.
I
Um,
Yeah. No, I agree with you there because like I mean yeah, NECA has like some articulation issues, and I have a feeling that they're going to be moving very blocky as well. And I mean, the only fortunate thing is that the like, especially like the gym, like the Mirage line, they didn't really do any like crazy poses or anything like that. But
yeah,
at the same time, I don't think we can get them to do that iconic first issue pose either. Something Robert did say. He says those Mirage Turtles looks amazing. You're absolutely right. These Mirage Turtles do look amazing. Uh, so
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely picking up all of them.
Oh,
Um,
I'm picking up,
I'm worried
especially.
about I'm worried about the weapon storage on Raph, because they did always draw Raph with him wearing his sai on
In the front.
his on the front of his belt.
Yeah. Uh,
So I'm curious if he's going to actually be able to do that.
I'm curious if Mikey's gonna have his be able to put his nunchucks in the back of the belt, because apparently NECA has never looked at the back of the turtles ever, and never put
Yeah,
Mikey's nunchucks like where it belongs. Like, I mean, that's always been every. Okay, I mean, I'm serious. We had like 4 cartoon releases of the turtles, and Mikey still can't hold his nunchucks like where they need to be, where they belong.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's welcome to Jason's rant about NECA. Like, but yeah. Yeah, I'm curious about that too, because even the cartoon Raph, like, you can put it in on the front of his belt, but you kind of like have to force it in there. I have a feeling that it's going to be like that again with.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't like. Uh, at least I have, like, I think I have like 2 sets of like NECA figures, so that's the only reason why I'm like, you know what? At least like at least if something happens and I break off the belt, at least like I have another one to replace it with. But yeah,
Hmm.
I'm definitely picking these up. Whether we can store the size or not, we'll find out. I have a feeling it's going to be like how you do it with the cartoon figures. Again, I don't know why. I just don't know why like NECA like is like ignoring the. They want to make that flushed belt, and they work so hard on that flushed belt that they forget about, like, what about weapon storage, like, um,
Yeah.
right.
I
So
mean, to them, they're just going to be like, oh, well, they should always be holding their weapons. I was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
NECA,
yeah.
come on.
I was like, come on, Jack. That's how you can tell what turtle they are, Dave, by the weapons they're holding. Come on. So the next thing I do want to talk about is one that Robert said he's very interested in, because he said he's interested in the wrestling figures, and he's also wrestling interested in uh, these last Ronin figures, which I was really surprised and happy to see these. I like, to be honest, like when NECA said like, oh, we're working on Last Ronin, the only thing I thought they were only gonna do was just Ronin. I didn't like, because I like the only other figure I'm like, maybe they could do that that futuristic Shredder that I was not a fan of, to be honest. That design, I was not a fan of that design. But
Oh, they did say they were going to do 13 figures in the line that they have planned as of right now.
oh, I did not know that. I did not.
Yeah, so they've already committed pretty deep to this line.
Yeah,
In fact, I think I did the math on our show.
yeah,
So you have at least 2 versions of the Ronin.
you're right.
You have the 4 brothers in the flashback.
You're right.
So we're up to 6. Splinter from the flashback.
Right.
Casey,
Yeah, Casey,
April, and
April.
Casey Marie.
Right.
So what are we up to there?
Yeah. Oh gosh,
Uh,
I stopped counting. I was hoping you were
uh,
counting.
and then okay, so
Uh,
two Mikeys,
yeah.
uh, 4 flashback turtles, so 6, Splinter 7,
Yeah.
Casey Marie, and April, and then Casey, so that's 10.
Yeah.
We
We
so
we
we
have to
know
have.
that we're getting the synth ninja, the Sinja as they're calling
Sinja,
it.
the
So it's
Sinja.
11.
Oh.
So
I mean,
so it's 11.
yeah, we gotta get.
Then you got Hiroto.
Yeah, Hiroto. I was about to say we have to have Hiroto. You know.
So you got Hiroto, and then um, you could do armored Hiroto and unarmored Hiroto. And then there you
True.
go. That's your
There you go.
13.
There's a 13. But what they did reveal here over the weekend, we got Leo, Raph, and Sinja. So Sinja is our army builder. If you want to have more of these synthetic foot soldier kind of people. Uh, but I just wasn't expecting Raph and Leo, to be honest. And my whole thing now is like, I'm like, they released these two, and then like I was like, okay, really you're releasing you're announcing these two, but you haven't showed Donnie. Like that's like one of my like ticks I have. Like when you only
Mm,
release like three of the four turtles, I'm like, oh, you're so there. Like it is,
yeah,
yeah. Like
I
so,
think what gets me about it's like looking at these, like the articulation looks a little bit better than it did for the other Mirage Turtles,
yeah,
but it's because like the sculpts are very different. Like the Mirage Turtles, the Toon line, the movie line, the old Mirage line, the new Mirage line, they always use like the elbow pads and the knee pads to hide the elbow and leg
right,
articulation,
yeah,
but it always really hampers it because like it's a piece that kind of floats over the joint, and
right,
so like when you go to like bend the elbow, like it pinches right there. So even though it's a double hinge joint and it should go a full, you know I can't even
yeah,
180,
right,
um it only goes 90. So with these, at least with Leo just has a double jointed elbow with no elbow pad to block it. So he's going to have a really cool range of articulation.
yeah,
And then Raph seems to be using like the weird double elbow joint that NECA likes to use on some of their figures,
oh,
um, where there's you have the upper arm, you have the lower arm, and then you have like this weird like tube with the joints
oh,
that plugs into both of them. I
right.
really hate that joint, and it's something that NECA really needs to stop using.
I agree.
But it's whatever. Um, but yeah, like these look really cool. And we also got to see the box art revealed. So the art on the boxes is going to be drawn by Ben Bishop.
Oh yeah, yes. I actually did not pull up a picture of the of the box, but yes, the box art looks amazing. I'm actually really excited about that, and um, yes, like I can't wait. Like I already pre-ordered the two Ronin figures, and I can't wait for them to show. But I'm so glad they got Ben Bishop to do the art on the box.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because he did the art in all those flashback scenes. So
Right. Yes. Yeah. No, I'm excited about that. I mean, I was just like, when they announced that they're doing Last Ronin, like, to be honest, like in my mind, I was like, there's only Ronin, and like I didn't think of like, oh yeah, well we do have other characters. I just never thought of like, oh, to bring out the other characters into this line as well.
hmm
Right. And so that's it for the comic figures, and we have a nice comic checklist because not only did they show out those new figures, those new reveals, they did show out the Archie comics that were revealed like a few months ago, and we even got to see pictures of Dreadmon and the other
there's
guy, Jaguar. Yeah, there you go.
Jaguar, Jaguar, Dreadmon, Man Ray, and Slash were all there.
Right, right. Oh, did they actually call him Man Ray
They
or?
call Yeah, so they call him Man Ray on the checklist that they were giving out.
Okay. I know I see the checklist, but the checklist is so tiny on my screen. But
Yeah,
okay, that is good to know because that was like I actually like I actually messaged them and said, "Hey, could you stop?" Like I was like, "This is driving me insane. Could you stop calling him Ray Fillet and like call him by what he was called in the comics?" And so I don't know. I don't know if my personal thing that I messaged them made it do it or like but
that's two that they've listened to you on
yeah, that's two
that
that they
we've
listen to
mentioned
me
on the
on.
show. So
Yes, yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is our checklist. Like the comics line is getting so much like expanded, more expanded. I thought it would ever uh, get. It's so cool, and I like the fact that like we're getting new Mirage Turtles, especially since the older ones has been long phased out, and NECA said they had no plans to ever uh, bring them back. So, this is a great way for people to get reintroduced to the Mirage line.
I believe the exact quote was "bootlegged to hell."
Yeah, That's true. Yes, I think that was the exact quote. So let's get into the big thing that people like. Let's get into the line that really made NECA put NECA on the map. For like this basically stopped NECA from producing so many horror figures and just went as they were counting their dollars, and that is the cartoon line. And uh, before we go into the figures, I have to talk about this because this is probably what I'm the most excited for, and that is the reveal, the true reveal of the sewer playset. We have been seeing these in their pictures for for the past few months. Like when they revealed Usagi, they were start showing this, and people were kept posting they kept asking oh, is this the sewer playset or is this your own personal thing? Because I personally I never said that this was the sewer playset myself because I was like, this could be one of those Technodrome backdrop things that they have, and they just oh, it looks good in our pictures, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got revealed that this is the actual sewer playset, and and they're actually doing an awesome they're doing more than I expected them to do. So the sewer playset is going to be a total of 3 pieces. The first piece that will be up for pre-order this fall with details is going to be the living room set, and then later they're going to release the kitchen set, and then finally they're going to release the Donnie's lab set. And they are designed so you can put your street diorama on top of the sewer, so you can just stack it up so you can have more room for your display. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am not putting my street diorama on top of this thing because that would just make the figures go even higher, and that's just gonna make my son drop it even further to the ground, and I don't want any more broken nunchucks.
Yeah, this is insane because if you look at pictures of the booth, the three play sets are or dioramas because we're
Right.
adults. They're wider. If you these are stacked together,
Right.
edge to edge.
Right.
The 3 of them are wider than 2 street dioramas.
Yes. Yeah. That was the other thing. I'm like, what, because, um, they only have released 2 Ninja Turtle diorama sets, the Channel 3 set and the Channel 6 set, uh, and apparently the 3 dioramas fit for 2 sets, and I don't know if you get one, is it going to be enough for you to balance the one street set? We'll find out when we get this. But I'm really excited about these because this is actually, I'm more excited about these than the figures because I can actually finally have nice scenes of the turtles in the sewer, and I don't have to keep putting whenever I get new figures, I don't have to keep putting them on the street set to oh, hey, here's the turtles in the street set.
Yeah, I took the cardboard backdrop from one of the figures that had the sewer in it.
Yeah.
And I put that on my IKEA shelf and kind of built my own sewer layer.
Oh, nice.
Um, it's nothing fancy.
Right.
So I would love it if these fit inside of the IKEA shelf, the Deltoff that everybody uses for their
Right.
collectibles.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that it will, but it would be really nice.
It would be really nice. I'm hoping for that as well. I personally I use I use Billy just because Billy's cheaper. But I also screw mine to the wall so they don't fall. Because Billy has that weird molding thing where it goes over your molding on your wall.
I gotta look into that one.
Yeah. I think it's $30 each, something like that. It's super cheap, super tall, and that one was for my original house that I bought it for. I measured it, and that was the one that was tall enough to cover my window, so I didn't have window in my action figure room. Now I'm in a now the action figure museum is in a basement, and there's no windows in that basement. I was like, oh my, it's like that was the reason why we bought this house, was because like there's no windows in this basement. That is amazing. Like, uh, yeah.
Man, basements are such a foreign concept to us in California.
I bet. I know. Like, it's up there with like things that don't have avocado in it.
I gotta have my avocado.
I know you and my sister-in-law, like, you guys put avocado in everything. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Also, what's coming in the sewer playset is going to be a lot of accessories. We're gonna have like couches, tables, TV. I'm really excited to actually like. I haven't seen like clear pictures of the TV, but I'm pretty sure the TVs have like the three books for the stand, because we have to have that for Ninja Turtles. The details on the wall looks amazing. When we get more details on this, I'll be more excited. So also what was shown in the sewer set is actually I'll talk about that too. But what was shown is the Toddler Turtles, which like every time Action Playmates release like Toddler Turtles for one of their lines, I buy them immediately because I don't know why. I like Toddler Turtles even though they're only used like in a few episodes.
I never like the concept of baby characters. I hate it.
Uh-huh.
Especially because like the turtles, when we see their origin, like they're not babies.
Right.
Like they grow straight into teenage men.
Right. They do, but don't forget, a few episodes they turn into kids, and like they
No,
have.
I know they turn into kids. They just never experienced that kid section of their life. You know, that's what I meant.
Yeah, no, that is sure, I understand. But yeah, we're having but to Mike's dismay, we are having Toddler Turtles. He won't be getting them, but I am totally excited for them because I always like Toddler Turtles. I don't know, maybe because I'm a father now. I mean, even I liked them before I was in a father. Like with the 2003 when they made like the 4 turtle set, like I was like, oh, I have to have like these Toddler Turtles. And then they did it again for the 2012 series. Unfortunately, Rise didn't get to see it just because the figure line got canceled before it got released. But also in the background over there is also the portal, and something that they did mention is that the portal will be sold like separately, which I thought it was like kind of weird. I don't know if it's gonna be the portal by itself or the portal with like maybe with the Toddler Turtles. But like the portal, you will actually have a chance to actually get the portal generator, just so you can get the turtles to go contact the neutrinos or get Usagi and to leave his home and never return back, and we never know if he ever goes back to his home or not.
Yeah, like I got to think that the portable portal generator will be in like an accessory kit or um, with like those baby turtles.
So okay, I've been hearing people throwing around the word accessory kit. I don't think we're gonna get an accessory kit. I think these turtles are going to be coming with the portal. I think the portal like it's going to be like, hey, we have turtles and we have these Toddler Turtles, and they come with the portal or something like that. I
Hmm.
also I also think like some of this other stuff that we're going to get into is actually going to be coming as accessories for the playset, these sewer playsets. I think they're just going to like kind of like throw them in there as it as well. That's what I think personally, because I think like the playsets are going to be like their excuse of being like, oh hey, uh, like we're throwing this one in there, we're throwing this one in there as well. So that's me personally. But I know a lot of people have been throwing around accessory sets. I know people are saying that, but like they actually never announced an accessory set.
No, I know they haven't announced one, but
Right.
I'm but I think they hear loud and clear that like an accessory set for the Toon line would be the way to go.
I think it would be the way to go, but like I said, I'm thinking they're going to throw it with the dioramas. That's what I think personally. I think the dioramas are going to be showing up with this because speaking of like random accessories that we're finding, uh, here is like the reveal of Mac, which in their checklist they do label him as Big Mac, which that was not his name.
Yep, that was not his name.
That was not his name, but uh, but yeah, but so we have Mac, which Mac is like not expecting. That's like not that was definitely not in my like. Oh man, I really need a figure of this. But right behind Mac on the fire hydrant, we have a helmet and goggles, which look like it goes straight on Rocksteady.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. I personally don't care. I remember originally when Bebop and Rocksteady first came out, a lot of people were like upset that he didn't have his helmet, and I'm like,
Right.
well,
He only had it for
I'm like
one
the
season.
helmet's. Yeah, he only had, and even then, it wasn't even the
Right.
majority of the season.
Right.
Like he also had tiger stripes on his pants, and
Right.
he didn't have those after the first episode or whatever.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Um,
It was a
so what I
casualty
was
after
telling
they.
people is like, yeah, like I was telling people, like it's not on his official model sheet, which is
Right.
what NECA's probably going off of, at
Right.
least back then.
Right.
And so it would make sense that he doesn't have it. Um, Now since then, like I never cared,
Mhm.
but I also have a custom helmet from Tiny Tantrum Toys.
Oh, nice.
He also made my Mousers, which
Oh,
are
cool.
amazing.
Oh, nice.
Um, they but he gave me didn't give me, I bought it.
Okay.
I bought a helmet for my Rocksteady,
Oh, nice.
and I put it on there, and it's fine.
All right.
So
Right.
I'm kind of surprised that NECA went back and is making one. I will say, going back to Mac, I'm very annoyed that Mac is getting a figure
And not Hokum
and
hair.
not Hokum hair.
Not Hokum hair. I will say because I like to give Mike a hard time because that's what I do with people I like to talk to. It's what I do with friends. I give friends a hard time, and my wife wonders how I keep friends. I'm like, I don't know. But the
There
first
you
thing I
go.
said was like, hey, you know what's not in the NECA booth? Hokum hair.
So I'm thinking like Mac isn't going to be a figure by himself like that.
I don't.
That can't be.
I don't like if it's a figure. Because like I have a feeling he's gonna be like a strange like 2-pack. Like he's gonna be like almost like how Kerma was with Mondo Gecko. That's what I think Mac is gonna be. Mac is gonna like one character is gonna be like a single release, but for some reason we're gonna have to pay $40 to $45 for it just because we have to have Mac with it too. That's what I think was gonna.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen with Mac, and I don't know. Maybe and like for these goggles for Rocksteady, I have a theory where these goggles are going to go to. That's going to be one of the figures we're going to talk about, which is Rhino Man. We'll get to that figure as well. I can see these like just be a random accessory for Rhino Man. I'm just saying, but this also could be like one of like. But the reason it could be also not with them because they this is their hint of like, oh hey, we got something else coming up. You never know with NECA. NECA likes to throw stuff in there for us to find and then be like, oh, what is this for? Like gives these like peppered hints and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say the most random one that I was not expecting this was not on display on the preview night, but it was display when the show was open is Baxter Stockman with Shredder's helmet. I know this picture I have has Scrag like blocking the actual helmet itself, but I don't think the helmet actually had the Aya Sarnoff in it, which is wrong.
It did not.
It
So
did
no.
not. I mean, how do you ignore that? Because that's the only time he wears the helmet is when it has the Aya Sarnoff.
Yeah, like NECA's attention to detail, like they're great, and then for some reason, sometimes they skip on weird things that are like an iconic part of the design.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. But this one, I will say, just confuses me a lot. Because like, if they are making like a an accessory set, and this is going to be a part of an accessory set, this is for an accessory for a San Diego Comic Con exclusive figure. Unless if there is plans, there is plans for these pre-mutation figures to like get regular release as like 2 packs, like we've seen in the past. It just makes me,
Maybe.
yeah, it just makes me wonder. And I mean, if there is, maybe this might be the incentive for like people to double dip. I'm not sure. It's such the oddball thing to be like, oh hey, here's a random head for your exclusive figure, and like I don't know, maybe there might be an ultimate pre-mutated Baxter, and not only this, he has this head, he also has Barney Stockman's head with the red flowing hair that I really think is just more of a animation like model mistake, that because people didn't actually work in the second season into fourth season. Like
Yeah.
but people are like, oh no, you could tell the difference between Barney and Baxter. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to, but
What are you talking about? Barney is way better looking.
I know Barney's way. Oh, he is. He's way better looking, and also he makes this point that saying he's not a fly. And even though like I'm still, just makes me wonder, when did like Baxter like go to his family and just be like, oh hey guys, I'm a fly now. Like after so many times he's been stuck in limbo.
Yeah, like there's no way Barney would have known that.
Yeah, there's no way now. Yeah, there's no way Barney wouldn't know that. If you listen to our podcast, I have a whole like rant about that. Yeah, this one really came out of left field for me. I'm so curious what this head is going to go for. I have a feeling we won't know until like I don't know, next year. To be honest, is if there is going to be an ultimate pre-mutated Baxter Stockman or whatever, or a 2 pack, they're not going to announce it until like all the San Diego Comic Con stuff has been shipped and sold, and like make sure like no one has a chance to get that ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the next reveal is probably like the one I'm like the least excited for, because I never liked this character, never wanted a figure of him, and that's Bugman. Never liked Bugman.
Yeah, I I don't know anything about Bugman.
Oh, okay. So Bugman is a guy. He came from the comics, from Michelangelo's favorite comic book, and then he discovered that Bugman is real, and like he's a mild manner reporter, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, but you know, uh, like when the moon comes out, or something comes out, he transforms into a bug, and so like this guy has this weird face thing, and as a kid, I hated his transformation, like just because like,
Oh, I absolutely hate the design. I
oh
think
no,
it's terrible.
oh no,
Um,
this was one like as a kid, like I was happy that didn't make a figure, and like I don't know, maybe Bugman will be packed within Mac. And to be honest, if these two are packed in together, this will be an easy skip for me.
oh yeah, absolutely. Um, it's just funny. Bugman's one of the next episodes that we're covering on
Oh,
our show.
oh, I'm sorry. I know. We'll eventually get to Michelangelo meets Bugman soon. Because like we're almost caught up to you guys. But I mean, I'm just look. As I said, as a kid, just never liked him. I mean, because he has the powers of all the bugs. It's like whatever bug he needs to be, he has that power. I just like as I said, as a kid, I hated I hated his design, and I hated his transformation. His transformation was like gross, and like it was not my favorite. So let's move on to him.
Can't wait.
I know, yeah. Let's move on to him to talk about Mighty Hog and Rhino Man. I'm actually excited that Playmates are re-releasing these figures, but I'm really excited that NECA is actually making these. This is going to be our third or technically fourth. Well, third for the cartoon line, fourth overall for Rocksteady and Bebop, but our third. But yeah, we have another variant of Rocksteady and Bebop. You know, two very popular characters had really memorable costumes, and you know, before I move on, Robert actually wanted to add he said that would be funny if Baxter Stockman shows up at his family reunion and they see him as a fly. I agree. I really want
Yeah.
really want Baxter.
I would have loved to see that episode.
I
Yeah.
would love to see that like episode and everything, like, you know, and then like just so Barney can be like, well, they can't compare us anymore. but yeah, but going back to
Was it ever established if they were twins or if they're just brothers?
It was only brothers, but it was assumed that they're twins. It's just that, but they never like flat out said they were twins.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So Rider Man and Mighty Hog, really excited about these two. I mean, you know, I really like Roxanne Bebop. Whatever like costumes they have, I'm still waiting for Granny Bebop. I still want a Granny Bebop, like, to make that happen. But like,
absolutely.
yeah. But these are great. Like I said, I can see NECA throw in that Rocksteady helmet in this one, even though it's not for this figure. But I can see him throw this Rocksteady helmet with this 2-pack. You know, that's just me personally, but I know you know I know the big rumor going around is an accessory set, which I would not be mad if there's an accessory set. I'm just hoping there's just more than just Toddler Turtles and a Rocksteady helmet.
I gotta think there would be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there would be, and honestly, you never know. That might all come with the portal generator, the portable portal generator. But I also like the fact that we also have the '90s cell phone over there, the Zach Morris phone that people like to call it.
Love it.
Yeah. These two are great. Can't wait for that. I just want to. We just need posters of like to go with the street scene for these two. We need like posters for them. Like I'm just saying. And then
I do think it's funny that like NECA is kind of like at the same point we are in our reviews.
Yes. No, it is like funny with about that, because every time we're like, oh, we're about to talk about this episode, and then like all of a sudden like NECA's like, oh, by the way, hey, we got this. Like, you know, Mona Lisa was revealed. Mona Lisa and Dirk Savage. I didn't put them on here because we saw like their reveal, but we actually got like picture reveals of them as well, including the trap that Dirk Savage had. Like, you know, they had the trap on one of the frogs at their display set. But yeah, I think, I mean, you know, like I said, NECA does follow us, and I think they're just following along our podcast, and they're like, oh yeah, you know what, this is a good episode that they talked about. Let's go ahead and like get this done too. Like, you know, Jason and Mike, they're about to get into these line. Let's go ahead and do this, since everyone listens to their podcast, and it'll be great to go with what they're going through.
Exactly. That's exactly how I imagine that went down.
That's exactly how they mentioned it down, because the next and the final reveal that we have are actually two characters that I don't think you got there yet, but I don't, and we're about to get there, and that's Chakahachi and Lotus Blossom.
Oh no, we covered that.
Okay, you guys gonna cover Farewell Lotus Blossom? Okay, so
and that was an episode.
That was an episode. I definitely agree. Like, we haven't because that one we have a guest on, so we haven't had released it yet. But yeah, we've already seen that one, and yeah, both of us were like, oh yeah. But
there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't say you should do today.
Right. Yes, definitely. But Lotus Blossom does have the thing sniffer. I think that's what it's called. Or that's from her, the first episode that she was in. And hey, fun fact: this was also in Turtles Forever as well.
I remember that. I also remember you pointing it out when it was used.
I know, I
when
did.
we were talking. Somebody was talking about it on the internet.
Yep. Yes. Yes. And then like, my thing was like, I made a joke that I made a joke. I said, "Oh, look, Turtles Forever figures are confirmed." When like someone like found it on the thing when uh, and people took me seriously, and I was like, "No, no, guys," like because like everyone's like, "No, that was from the original series." Like, I know it's from the original series. I know this. We talked about both things, guys. Come on.
I I do this on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I do this on a weekly basis, guys. Come on, you don't need to like you don't need to point this out to me. But yeah, but I will say, and this was like something like Anna like caught on, and she said, "NECA finally listened to you because I've been wanting a Lotus Blossom action figure for a long time. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted a Lotus Blossom action figure. Like, the closest thing we had was Kurai, and like I said, our I know I mentioned this before, but our guest when we talk about Farewell Lotus Blossom, we are going to confirm if Kurai was actually based off of Lotus Blossom or not. And so,
Huh.
yeah,
Yep. Because that's a common misconception. Because like Lotus Blossom predates
Lotus Blossom predates
Karai by a
Kurai.
couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of people think that she was supposed to be Kurai, but she predates Kurai. And so then the other thing a lot of people asked us when we did the Lotus Blossom episode was, hey, was Kurai based off of Lotus Blossom? And I don't want to reveal the answer yet because we haven't actually and I'll let the person answer that for us. But yeah, but I was surprised to see Chakahachi. He he's only in that episode Farewell Lotus Blossom, but like that was one like I don't know I wasn't like, oh my gosh, can we get Chakahachi? Can we get him can we also get him into helmet, and can we also like get him like 12 feet tall as well? Like, can we also get him into different colors? Like, I mean, it like I just thought it was weird that I mean it as a 2-pack it makes sense, but to be honest, I think there's better characters to go with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like we've had 2-packs that don't make sense, like Mona Lisa and Dirk the Savage Hunter. You know, I mean, really, if it was Lotus Blossom and Holcomb Hair, I would accept that more than Chakahachi because
Absolutely, couple 2 episode wonders.
yeah, exactly, a couple 2-episode wonders. There you go. So that is everything. That was all the figure reveals, and like I said, we also had physical figures in there as well that were revealed before. But that is all the figure reveals that we got at the convention, and here is the checklist. So you can see that like we are now up to like 100 cartoon action figures, something like my Facebook memory popped up like a few days ago because this like because around this time like 5 or 6 years ago was when they released the first NECA Toon set of like the 4 turtles and Shredder, Krang, and the two foot soldiers, and we were able to get that, and we did like our unboxing of that on YouTube and
Hmm.
everything. And so I had that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like how much has it grown since then? I mean, then the only way to get NECA Toon figures was through Comic Con because they were not allowed to sell retail. And then like then they had that deal with Target, and then it's just like boomed from there.
Yeah, I was saying like yeah, like how far we've come in this line. Like we're getting characters that like nobody would have ever imagined would have action figures like Big Mac.
Right.
Sorry, I said Big. You know, I'm getting a Rex One figure,
Yeah.
which like Rex One. I think Rex One they confirmed would be an Ultimate figure, but like it would be great if he was packed with, you know, an
To be honest,
Irma.
yeah, it would be packed. It would be good with if he was packed with Irma. To be honest, like if Big Mac was paired with anyone, it would probably should be Rex 1. I called him Big Mac as well. My gosh, NECA, don't do this. Take out that like they did the same thing with uh Super Rocksteady and Mighty Bebop, and like they actually did with the episode title name. I'm like, no, guys, that's not what they were called. Don't do the same mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like speaking of Rocksteady and Bebop, I said like that was like their third variation for in the cartoon line, but no, that's actually their fourth. I forgot about Bunny Rocksteady and Bebop from Loot Crate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about them. I mean, we just so many figures, and like, I mean, I know personally, I skipped like some of the turtles because I'm like, especially like the first style guide and like the newest style guide. I'm like, okay, I don't need them in bright green. Like
Yeah.
I'm good with them in the cartoon colors. But like like some of the other ones, like I didn't think I was gonna get glow in the dark Muckman, but then I saw him at the store and I was like, I'm going for it. And like just like other ones as well. I told I mean, I'm telling myself I'm not gonna get Bugman. I'm not gonna get Bugman, but we'll see. You never know. He'll be up on like a pre-order, and then I'll probably be like, oh, got my Bugman, guys.
It depends on who he's packed with.
Yeah, it really
for
depends.
me.
Yeah, for me, yeah. No, I agree with you there. Like someone like I mean, me personally, I wouldn't have bought Ace Duck, but the fact he was packed in with Mugen Man, I was like, Mugen Man is packed in with. I was like, oh well, I guess I'm getting Ace Duck. Yeah, and just I mean, in that like, I just have no connection with Ace Duck because I never had the figure. Also, Ace Duck was in the show for like 5 seconds, and like he talked like Donald Duck. That's the only thing he did.
Oh, 5 seconds. 5 seconds is generous.
yeah, that's true. 5 seconds is very generous. In fact, he was in the episode with Mac. Actually, if you guys don't know.
So that would have been a better pack in.
That would have been a better pack in. You know what? Put Ace Duck with Mac, and I would totally ignore that set completely. Oh gosh, but that is everything. Thank you, Robert, for sticking with us. This is definitely our longest of the podcast. Like I said, this is not going to be on our audio podcast. We're keeping this straight on YouTube, only just because our audio podcast is long enough as it is. I appreciate everyone who came in and listened to us and stuck with us. Like I said, a lot of reveals here at Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, this was just a fantastic show, and it's so good to have like Comic-Con back like this, and
yes,
swinging in full force. And what's even cool is that like PowerCon is in I think 2-3 weeks.
Oh wow!
And Nick has already said that there's going to be more.
Oh gosh! Oh man, we're gonna have another one of these long reveals.
So I don't think it'll be as many reveals as this. But yeah, they've already. So that's PowerCon in Indianapolis, I think it is this year.
Yeah, I think it's in Indianapolis.
Which like the first year that I want to go, and it's not in Anaheim, and I'm so annoyed.
Oh man, that's a bummer. I know it has been expanded now, like because I know they're adding like Ninja Turtle content. I think they're also adding Thundercats content. Like basically, it's not just He-Man anymore. So
yeah,
I mean, which in that situation, you kind of have to like do something like that. Like when you go niche, I keep saying because I go to Pyromorphicon each year. But like I keep saying it's like, man, at some point they have to like expand it out to more than just Power Rangers. I know like they have like 100 Power Ranger actors in there just because like there's so many freaking actors for that show. But I mean, really at the same time, how many people are like, how much are the Power Ranger fan base going to keep that show alive? But they have been keeping it alive, like at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that's everything we have for this week. Be sure to check out Ninja Tire Power Hour for all your pre-game stuff for Armageddon Game. Also, just a reminder, our 100th episode is going to be released this week. We are going to be looking uh, at the Cartoon All Stars to the rescue, and we have special guest Mitch from Duck Talks that's going to be in that episode. And also, if you guys aren't aware, we are doing a Twitter contest for you to win the Leo as the Hunchback from NECA before it gets officially released in America. And if you're wondering why there's no box, it's because I made a mistake trying to get the figure. And obviously this did not officially come from the company, but I just there's a thing.
You have to disclose how you got it.
yeah, exactly. But you guys can figure it out how I got it. But it should be fun, and also that coloring book is like amazing. You guys should definitely I to be honest, you should be more excited about the coloring book than the Leo figure because the color. I love the coloring book. I was so happy when I actually found it. All right.
All right. Well, I think that's everything for us for the
that's
night.
everything for us. All right. Till next time, guys.
Jason, always a pleasure. Guys.